Justin Williams just committed to Florida the other day. We're going to be taking a bit of a deeper look at him. 2026 athlete. Couldn't find a position for this kid. Taking a look at his 24/7. He's played a lot of receiver, a lot of running back in high school. I think we're going to take a look at him and then decide what we think he's going to be, but doesn't necessarily mean that's what Florida thinks he's going to be. But yeah, 5'11", 190, Buchholz, Florida, which is actually in Gainesville. So he's staying home as of right now. So take a look here. If you guys have anybody else you want me to check out, whether it be a Florida kid, anybody else, please let me know. You know, I got to tell you, I have a certain idea of what I'm going to be watching when I'm watching a kid that has played running back or that's a receiver but plays running back now. You don't see this from a lot of kids that have a lot of time playing, a lot of experience playing receiver. This looks like a kid that's been playing running back for a while, able to keep his balance like that, contact balance. I think looking at his frame, he certainly looks like a running back. Yeah, that's the boat I'm gonna be in, just with this kid's build. Because you hear 5'11", 190, and you're like, that's probably a running back. But then looking at how big this kid is, his lower body, he's got nice shoulders. Certainly think this is a kid that, in my head, he's a running back. But it doesn't really matter. We'll just enjoy him as an athlete for now. So we just saw him do some good running back things. Here's him doing some good receiver things. It's a hell of a release, I think. Minimal wasted movement. Maybe false steps a little bit, but real clean coming out of his stance. You know, that's when you see, that's what you expect. And then look at this. I didn't even see this. Great release. You know, does a good job getting past the kid, and then watch him keep his feet after. You know, I thought the play was dead here, but able to stick that arm out. Presses the A button and stays on his feet. I think one thing that you will see with this kid playing running back, like I said before, it looks like he's been playing longer, but you can kind of see the instincts aren't really there yet. The vision, all that kind of stuff. That's one of those things that's not real natural, I don't think, as a football player who's never had a whole lot of reps at running back. I thought there he just kind of hit it a bit too soon. And I'm sure if you watched his all of his snaps at running back, there's probably a couple times where he doesn't do a great job of letting the block set and all that. And that's just because he's real raw. You know, I think it said the first 2 seasons at Buchholz was playing receiver. So I think that's something that he's going to have to work on at the next level if he's playing running back. But I always try to frame it like this. Like, I get more excited about these kind of kids that are great athletes, just kind of raw at the position and still have to grow into the position, because I'm trusting in this case, Florida staff to kind of teach him the finer points of the game, right? You can't really have a kid that's kind of rough on the edges athletically, and then you try to fill that part in. That's a lot harder. I think it's a lot easier to kind of teach the football parts to kids, but that's always been my thought process. So just to give my final thoughts on him, I'm gonna give him a 4 on the frame. I think a 3 on the vision for now. Definitely gonna have to grow into his instinctual aspects if he's playing running back. Something he could work on. I think a 5 on the physicality, 6 on the change of direction, a 5 on the long speed. So whatever his numbers showing up as here, you kind of have to also factor in that this kid brings position versatility, which isn't really reflected in this. So certainly a kid that, to me, he's a running back, and I know I keep bringing this up, but Florida might have a completely different idea of what this kid is at the next level, you know. And with all that being said, what do you think he is? You know, let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching.